Hey guys, welcome to another video and thank you for joining me in my studio today. So as you might have guessed, I will be drawing this cocktail reference photo that I've got. I will link it in the description along with a few of the other reference photos that I use in other videos in a Google Drive folder, so you can use that or any of the other photos in that folder however you wish for your own art. As you can see as well, I decided to skip videoing the initial lineup for this one. A few reasons, just because I wanted to do it in bed, I think. I do enjoy just sitting with my sketchbook in bed and doing some sketching, and also just I didn't want this video to be really long, so I thought I'd just skip the initial part. The supplies I'm using today are firstly my Ohuhu Marker Sketchbook, and then I'm using the Prismacolor Col-erase pencils, and also I'll be using just some coloured pencils as well. I at first thought that I wanted to do all of the pieces or drawings or sketches or whatever in this book with markers, because obviously it is a marker sketchbook, but I just wasn't feeling it, so I decided to just go in with pencils for this one. I really liked how this was looking, and just quickly, the thing I'm doing on screen at the moment is just rubbing the Col-erase pencil sketch with a little bit of kitchen towel, and it just makes it look all like it blends it all out and just makes things look a little bit dreamy and makes the lines a lot softer. And I got that technique from an artist named Emily Hughes Art on YouTube. I think that's what it is. I will link her channel in the description so you can have a look, but she also uses Col-erase pencils and I just love watching her videos. So yes, I just decided to do this whole drawing in just pencils and do it a little bit more loosely and not really worry about the fact that I told myself in the beginning that this book would just be for markers. I have a monthly prompt list on Instagram, and what it consists of is just prompts every single month to help you get creative and practice with your art and inspire you, and that is what I'm doing in this video today. So the prompt that I'm working on is yummy, and it was the second prompt in my January prompt list. And I know we are well into February now, and I do also have a February prompt list over on my Instagram, and I collaborated with another wonderful artist named Helen's Doodles to do that with. We picked half the prompts each, so if you want to go and join in on that, I'll link that in the description. So before anything else, I would like to take your attention to the screen right now. I just tapped my drawing and tried to zoom in on it. Yep. Have you ever done that before? I've actually done that more often probably than I'd like to admit. You know, when you're looking at your iPad and zooming in and then zooming out, and then I'd try and zoom into my drawing. Sometimes I wish I could do that. Maybe I should get my eyes tested. You'll have to let me know whether you've done that. I bet you have if you're an artist who also uses a lot of screens, because you just forget sometimes. You might be wondering what that strange looking mask is on this page, and that is the lead singer's mask that he wears in my favourite band Sleep Token. And yes, so I did that in the last video if you want to check that out, with Ohuhu alcohol markers. And the cocktail that I'm drawing here is a cocktail that me and my husband had in Las Iguanas on the day that we went to see this band. So I thought it was quite nice to put them both on the page together, as it sort of tells a little story and it's like a little memory page, and I really like that. I don't know if I said a minute ago or not, but the second prompt is yummy in the January challenge. So yeah, a cocktail is yummy, so I thought it suited it quite nicely, and also is a nice page to have in my sketchbook. You might notice that I've done this video a little bit differently. I just put a little bit more time into the editing because usually, just to save time, I would just speed all the clips up and stitch them all together. But for this one, I even got a little bit creative with my camera angles in a minute. I decided not to speed any of it up and just show you it in real time, but stitch like all different little clips together, so it just gives you a little bit more of an idea of how I actually use the coloured pencils. I really can't recommend this book enough. Honestly, this sketchbook, I absolutely love it. I love it for the markers, and it also works really, really nicely with coloured pencils as well. They layer really nicely on it. It has just enough tooth to accept the pencil, so you can get lots of lovely layers. But it is also a really nice smooth paper, so I just feel like it's got a really, really nice paper. And I know they do this sketchbook in a mixed media version as well, which I'd like to try. Because I just recently tried watercolours on this paper, and I will be sharing that in a future video, but it was a total disaster. It really, really doesn't like watercolours or any wet media, really. But I suppose that's fair enough because it is a marker sketchbook and is not marketed as a watercolour sketchbook. The coloured pencils I'm using today are the Caran Dache Luminance pencils and also the Derwent Lightfast pencils. They are both probably my favourite coloured pencils. I love them both for different reasons, and I love using them together. I find that the Derwent Lightfast have some beautiful vibrant oranges and yellows, and then the Caran Dache Luminance have just perfect muted colours. So when I used to do pet portraits, the Luminance colours were just ideal because they're the most ultimate pet fur colours in that set. Once upon a time, I would have never allowed myself to use these precious pencils in a sketchbook because they are obviously Lightfast, and it's not really necessary to have Lightfast art in a sketchbook. But I don't really do art with coloured pencils that I sell anymore. I don't at all do pet portraits anymore, and it feels weird even saying that now because it was such a large part of my life for a while. But yeah, if I don't just use the pencils, they just won't get used and they'll just sit around. And something I've realised recently is I have to go with what my creativity wants to do with art. So what I mean by that is over the past few years, or my whole art sort of career life, I've set so many rules for myself. So when I used to do the pet portraits, I would never allow myself to do anything creative or fun for myself. It was just, when it's art time, it's commission time, and that was the end of it. And obviously I got in a very, very toxic situation there and ended up with like a mental breakdown, and I just stopped taking commissions and stopped doing art for a little while. And then over the past couple of years, I have been like rekindling my relationship with art again, and just getting inspired and trying all the different mediums. Now, when I first started drawing, all I did was use coloured pencils and pan pastels as well. When I used to do my portraits, I'd always do like layers of pan pastels for the base layers and then go on top with coloured pencils. But yeah, over the years now, I've tried all different art mediums. I've tried oils, acrylics, markers, watercolours, what else? I've just tried all sorts really. And now I don't really have a favourite medium. I just have whatever I feel like doing on the day. So when I tried to tie myself down to this sketchbook for one thing, I wanted to do all of my art prompts in the January challenge in this sketchbook, and then I wanted to do them all in Ohuhu markers. I soon started to feel that trapped feeling again, and I had to remind myself what this challenge is actually all about, or this prompt list, not challenge. Yeah, So what it's all about, and that is just creating and making the time to create and spend some time with your art supplies, whether it's supplies that you love and want to use all the time, or whether it's an art supply that you need more practice with, or you just want to get better at, or whether you want to try something new. So I had to remind myself that I didn't have to follow any rules of just working with markers, because that ends up getting me all angry and frustrated while I'm creating. It's like I've got to go with the art supply that I feel like using on that day. And on this day, I just fancied coloured pencils, and it's the first time that I've just fancied doing a coloured pencil drawing since I just packed all my coloured pencils away, to be honest, because I didn't think after finishing doing the commissions, I didn't think I'd really want to play with them for much longer. But then I decided that's what I want to play with that day, and that's what I let myself play with. Sometimes I think we don't even realise the rules and regulations we put on ourselves when it comes to art. And I understand if you've got commissions to do or work that needs to be done, you've got to do what you've got to do, haven't you? But if I could just give you one tip and one thing that I wish well, two things actually. Two things that I wish I would have known at the time, and that was, if I don't do art for myself and only do commissions every time I sit down to draw, I am going to have a breakdown. That's the first thing. And then the next thing is to not take on too much, because the reason I never had really time to sit down and draw for myself is because I had so many commissions on all of the time. I just never had the time, and I was always late on getting people's artwork to them, and yeah, I just ended up really messing my little business up, to be honest. But overall it's all good, because I am happier now than I've ever been with my art, and I just love being able to create whatever I want when I want, and I'm obviously lucky enough to be in the situation where I can just play. So if you've made it to this point in the video and survived all of that random babbling, I will talk to you a little bit about the pencils again. So what I just said about the Derwent Lightfast having really lovely bright tones and the Luminance having the lovely muted tones, they both have a beautiful array of colours, and the Derwent the Caran Luminance also have just the most wonderful bright colours, especially greens and pinks. I'm just obsessed with colours, you know, and coloured pencils are a really lovely way to just get some colour in your life nice and quick. And also there's very little mess with coloured pencils. There's not really any cleanup at all. You can just get your pencils out and go. Another thing I love is how you can combine gouache with your colour pencils. I love to add just white gouache at the end of my drawings and just add that little bit of sparkle and bring out the highlights in my pieces. Another thing which is really nice with using gouache on top of your pencils is then you can go back on top of it with your colour pencils and just tint the colour of the gouache a little bit, which is really nice as well. So if you've gone in with a really white highlight somewhere and you just want to dull it down a little bit, you can just go back on top of that and tint it with a really light layer of pencil. Something I've been really enjoying recently is using coloured pencils on black paper too, and I do use that combo for a few of the prompts in this January challenge, and I will be sharing as many as I can throughout February. I'm aiming for two videos a week, and my goal for this channel, after thinking about it a little bit more, is to just use it as a bit of an artist's diary, really. I love journaling. I journal every single morning. I do my morning pages, which is just 3 pages of pure brain dump every single morning, and I always feel so much clearer and ready to start my day more after I've done that. And I also feel the same with this channel. So every time I put a new video out, I'm not sure what it is. It just makes me feel really accomplished and excited that I am sharing another little piece of my art and my life with you guys. And it's just nice to come on here and chat about art stuff and just general life stuff, really. And yeah, so I thought that it'd be nice if these videos were a bit of like a artist's diary, and that is the format I'm gonna be following in February, and we'll see how it goes. So let me know what you think of this drawing. I really hope you liked it and also enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment with anything you would like to say. I really do appreciate your comments and I love connecting with you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.